What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Ola with Ola TV. And in this edition, I want to go ahead and play the video that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe had on Undisputed recently. It was sometime earlier today. They actually gave their own comments and take on the situation. For those of you who don't know, Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless um, usually do sports, but in this given situation, they felt that what happened at the Oscars was definitely worth speaking on behalf of. Typically, they stick to sports in most cases, but sometimes, they may speak. They may speak on things like political matters, award ceremonies, etc. If the given situation presents itself, and in this one, it did. And a lot of the stuff that Shannon Sharp said actually agrees with the original video that I did earlier today. If you guys did not catch that video, it is the most recent video on my platform. So make sure that you go back and catch the recap. It is available on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. But on this one, I'm going to see if we can go ahead and share the video in just a moment. And I'll pause it in between to speak on behalf of what I agree and what I disagree with on what both Shannon and Skip discuss on this video. Mostly of everything what Shannon said I actually agree with, which is surprising because usually whenever I watch a show, I'm only 50-50 on what he says. But for this particular topic, I'm going to pause it in between every time he says something to kind of go ahead and elaborate myself on what I said on the previous video if you missed the last one. So here we go. We are about to get started in just a moment. But of course, we got to go ahead and get you started with the intro. Here we go. All right, guys, thank you so much for patiently waiting as I went ahead and completed the intro as usual. And of course, this is Ola here with Ola TV. And just as the intro says, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to drop any comments if you guys want to go ahead and see more videos like this, or if you want to give any comments on just the topic at hand in general. So, this situation is basically me providing another take for two individuals who gave a very eloquent argument on each side regarding the Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith, the slap that is heard across all of America, the Oscars, and possibly globally at this point. It is trending hardcore, and the memes are going out of control. People are just doing crazy amount of memes. But let me go ahead and get this video started. Hopefully, the video won't get flagged because this video is not owned by me. It is owned by whoever it is that has ownership over Undisputed. However, due to the fair use laws, I am able to share this video. So hopefully, you'll be able to go ahead and elaborate on it without any interferences, takedowns, etc. So here we go. This is Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless giving their take on the smack and slap that was heard around the world. And here we go. Let's get the video started, and I'll go ahead and elaborate on what I agree or disagree with on this situation. Here we go.
Before winning Best Actor for his portrayal of Venus and Serena Williams' father in King Richard last night, Will Smith shocked the Oscar audience by slapping Chris Rock. Happened on stage after the comedian made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett. During his acceptance speech, a teary-eyed Smith apologized to the Academy, but not to Rock himself. After the show, LAPD said Rock would not be pressing charges. What is going on? Shannon, how surprised were you by all of this drama?
Now, first off, before we even get into the whole situation of what Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless are going to give on their take, honestly, if that was me and if I wasn't going to fight back, which in my situation, I would have definitely punched him right back. But if I'm not going to retaliate or defend myself, the least that I would have done was at least press charges because that was a given situation that, again, was a surprise, a slap around the world, not only heard on the Oscars, but it's pretty much trending globally now. So let's go ahead and see what Shannon Sharpe has to say because it's pretty eloquent and it's on point with what I said on my previous video.
Hell, I was surprised and shocked as everybody because I'd never seen anything like this. This is the epitome. This is the height of what they do. This is the Oscars. This is not we've seen at some of the award shows, and we don't need to name them, where people get to fighting, people get to shooting. But this is, people of elegance, and they, just they're high and mighty, and they're dressed in their best, their Sunday best, and this is where they go to be lauded for their performances.
Yep.
And to have Will Smith behave in this manner, he's talking about, disreading everybody, but he's protecting his wife. Well, where was her protection of a man when she was at the red table talking about what she was doing with this entanglement? Where was
Oof. Shots fired. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I was talking about in my previous video. He's talking all this crap and all this mess about he want to protect his wife, and that's the reason why he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. But why? Not that I'm saying he should slap the shit out of his wife, but why didn't you hold your wife accountable for the entanglement and situationships of the guy that she was fucking, and not only just fucking, but doing it inside of your own home? You didn't have the balls to kick his ass. I guess you ain't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? Probably felt that that guy would have whooped his ass easily, or probably maybe would have shot him up, or worse. Because Jada Pinkett in the past, and it's no secret if you guys don't know already, Jada Pinkett is known for liking thugs. So how she ended up with Will Smith, I don't know. She likes hardcore guys, like for example, Tupac. She used to date him, and till this day, Will Smith still on interviews that he's done, not that long ago, where he says that he was definitely jealous of the fact that she chose to be with Tupac instead of with him. And then, of course, when Pac eventually passed away, um, you know, Will Smith saw that as an opportunity, and here we are today. But if Tupac was still alive, there's a great chance that Will Smith would have never gotten an opportunity with a Jada Pinkett, because Jada Pinkett, to me, bro, she's like the neighborhood hoe. If we're being honest, like she's the chick that all the top guys in the hood get, and all the, all the nerds. Will Smith to me would be considered kind of like a nerd, because he's not a hood dude, he's not gangster. He don't get down like that. The reason why he took it like that to Chris Rock was because he knew Chris Rock wasn't going to retaliate. He knew Chris Rock was, going to be the better man or be a gentleman of the situation, and that's the reason why he went and did what he did. So that's just what it is. But let's go ahead and get back to the video.
her protection of her husband? Chris Rock is a comedian. What comedians do, they can do this better than anybody else. They can take a real life situation and make it funny. That's what comedians are. Comedians take situations, and that's why I say we up here all the time, Skip. I say there's truth in jokes. That's what they do.
There's the most truth in jokes.
So now what we're starting is a bold precedent. I'm saying something about somebody, oh, look at that weave, or look at this hair. Oh, man, bro, what you got on, man, that's terrible.
Right.
He walks up on stage. What he should have done is what DC Young Fly did last year when somebody came up on the stage and whipped him.
I agree. 1,001,000,000%. I didn't get to watch that clip though, but I heard about it, where I think DC Young was making a joke about someone. I don't know if it was on Wildin' Out, or if it was he was doing stand-up comedy, or what was going on. But someone did try to approach him on the situation, and they got what they got coming. You came on stage, unwarranted. Yeah, if you're in the crowd, bro, you are easy pickings, and if you're in the crowd, you are part of the comedy. So that's just what comedians do. They come with their own material, they rehearse their material. But as you know, in many improv, stand-up comedies, etc., even on live shows, many comedians are going to go into the audience and pick people out, because when you're a comedian and you're so good in the game, it doesn't matter how much you've rehearsed. Yeah, you got your material, but you're also going to be picking on people in the audience, and that's just a given. That's just a part of life. So if you're not going to be a part of the atmosphere of being roasted, then your ass shouldn't be in a comedy show. Same thing with an awards. They bring the host, and if it's a comedian, it's to roast people. It is what it is. They're not going to change the dynamics just for one person. And so for that reason, that's why we need to ban Will Smith from future award shows until something is rightfully done, to make up for the situation in the regards for Chris Rock. And then also, he didn't even apologize. That's another thing. But we'll get to that in a moment. But let's go back to the video again.
Because see, this is going to be out there for perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux.
Yep.
I'd have whipped Will Smith ass.
I know you.
Ooh.
I would have whipped. He'd have had to be out there for
Listen to
perpetuity.
this again.
But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux. I'd have whipped Will Smith ass. But
One more time.
somebody came up on the stage and whipped him. Because see, this is going to be out there for perpetuity. But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have whipped Will Smith ass.
I know you.
I would have whipped. He'd have had to whip me, or I'd have had to whip him.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see him, it's on sight.
You heard that? Perfect. I rewinded it a few times. Shannon Sharpe is right on point. I agree with him 1,000,000%. If you come on stage and I'm a comedian and you slap me for a joke, I don't care if I'm talking about your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your brother, your sister, your dying uncle. It doesn't matter. The point is, jokes are jokes, and comedians since the beginning of time have always talked about people, talked about death, talked about skinny people, fat people, dark people, light skinned people, the people that are disabled, talked about bad men, bad women, etc. There is no type of limit when it comes to comedians, when it comes to jokes, etc. So the notion and the fact that Will Smith was going up there to protect his wife is a bunch of bullshit. And yo, if it would have been me, I would have fucked him up too. I would have kicked his ass, just like Shannon Sharpe said. I would have did the same exact thing. I would have retaliated. I would have whooped him, and then on top of that, I would have also pressed charges on him for the fact that he came up here unwarranted, unannounced, unexpected, knowing that this guy is, this is your friend, and this guy is a comedian full time, and you know, when he said perpetuity, Shannon Sharp, what he means by that is that this is going to perpetuate people to think that they have the right to go on stage, whether it's a live show, whether it's the Oscars, whether you're doing it at a small location like a mom and pop location where they have, improv and things of that nature. People are not going to want to do comedy anymore because comedians are going to feel that someone's going to want to go ahead and retaliate against them just because of the fact that you're saying something that maybe hurts their feelings, or you're picking on their wardrobe, or you're picking on their weight, or you're picking on the hat they wore, the way their face looks, or etc. So if we're going to go ahead and start doing that, where we're just going to allow this type of stuff to happen, and the thing is, since Chris Rock didn't retaliate physically, a lot of people are gonna think like, oh, we can just go up on stage and just smack the shit out of comedians. And what's gonna happen is that that's gonna create an unsafe environment, because then you're going to have comedians who are now going to be forced to have to retaliate back. And then what's gonna happen is that no one's gonna want to be a professional comedian, and also no one's gonna want to come to comedy shows because the comedian's always gonna have to feel like they have to defend themselves in the event that an unexpected unwarranted misbehavior happens like this. Because imagine if this happened at the Oscars, the place that's the bougiest of the bougiest. What do you think is going to happen to a local place in like Miami, or a local place in New York or California, etc.? People are not going to hold their tongue. They're not going to hold back. People are going to go ahead and just let loose just because they're having anger issues, emotional issues, etc. And honestly, this whole shit that happened, it's a buildup. This is the buildup of Will still not over the situation of last year. He's still, he's trying to make it look like he has the perfect family, and like, nothing has ever gone wrong. And, I'm pretty sure he's embarrassed at the fact that his wife uh put their business out there, and they try to make it seem like they both were aware of the situation, and they both knew about her entanglement and her situationship prior to her saying it publicly on national TV. Here's the thing, when a guy is hurt for real, and when you're saying information that he's never heard of or that he didn't think that you would have done. Will Smith was literally bawling out, crying his eyes out the entire time that she was talking about the other guy, the entanglement, the situationship, whatever you want to call it, hoeing around, etc. I call it hoeing around. There ain't no entanglement, ain't no situationship. Those are just words to cover up and protect women from being hoes. She was being a hoe. That's what it is. And he didn't want the world to know that his wife was being a hoe. And now he doesn't want the world to know that there's issues within his family, because he's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So this is all a buildup. And of course, since he's not going to physically hit his wife, at least that we know of, he decided to physically take it out on Chris Rock. That's what it boils down to. It's all just build up and watch Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. They mentioned that later on in this interview, but let's go ahead and get back to it and see what else Shannon Sharpe has to say.
There ain't nothing say. Hey, hold on. I'm watching him at the Vanity Fair, and Will Smith is carrying on like ain't nothing happened.
This is true.
Let
me go back a little bit.
Came up on the stage and whipped him. Because, see, this is going to be out there for perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux. I'd have whipped Will Smith ass.
I know you.
I would have whipped. He'd have had to whip me, or I'd have had to whip him. And every time I see him, it's on site.
You see, I rewinded it a fourth time because where he said on site, what that means for those that are not familiar with that, that's like, slang terminology or just like code wording, meaning that not only would I have whipped you that night, but on site, meaning in the future, if I were to see you again, we still gonna be beefing, and I'm still gonna go ahead and try to kick your ass a second time and a third time, even if I whipped you the first time. So I got the same type of mindset. Me and you beefing, you started some shit unnecessary. Not only am I gonna kick your ass today, but I'm gonna keep my radar on red because I'm gonna make sure that if there's a possibility you're gonna try to get me back or you're gonna try to do something to retaliate in the future and you're gonna try to like get me back unexpectedly, I'm gonna always be ready for you on site. And that's what he's saying. So I agree with him so far. And let's see what else he says.
There ain't nothing say. Hey, hold on. I'm watching him at the Vanity Fair, and Will Smith is carrying on like ain't nothing happened.
This is true, guys. And by the way, Will Smith, he was over at. Let me see if I could find the video because one of my friends, I think, recently posted the video. Will Smith was at Miami. I think he was at a club, and he's with the award that he won. Okay, the award that he won. I think this was on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. He's with the award, dancing, acting like nothing happened, acting like he wasn't a complete asshole. Um, to Chris Rock, and he's just moving on like nothing happened, and like uh he like like if like basically if the situation between him and Chris Rock just doesn't exist, like it just erased and it's not on people's minds and nobody knows about it and it's not public or anything like that. I'm gonna take a moment here to try to pull it up because I know I seen it on one of my friends' Instagrams, which was interesting. Um, Let me pull up Instagram really quick here. Give me a sec. Let me just pull up the page and then I'll switch over to Instagram. I think this is a public page too. So if you want to check it out on your own time, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think I may have found it here. Let's see. Let me scroll down a bit. Yeah, this is it. So before I go ahead and share it, let me pull up the page in case you guys want to see it on your own. Here we go. Let's see. All right. So this is the Instagram page. Okay. Not my Instagram page, but I follow this page. It's got, different things here like humor and weird stuff that only happens in like Dade, Florida, etc. So they post a lot of Florida stuff. They even have the fight between what's his name? Jimmy Butler and Spolstra, Eric Spolstra, and also with Udonis Haslam. They have all kinds of shit on this page. But anyway, let me show you how Will Smith is out here just having a good time, like ain't shit happen, and he's just out here just you know, acting like ain't nothing weird happened. Check this out. Look, you see this? Look at that. He's in a club. I'm not gonna play the audio just in case there's any copyright on it, but this is him. Look, that's the award right there. Look, you see it? Look at my mouse. You see it? He just got that award. So then he goes to Miami and they're playing the song. The name of the song is Miami as well. It's a old song that he came out with. I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s. I think it was the 90s. So in this clip, he has his Oscar that he just won, and they're playing his theme song in the club, and he's just there vibing like ain't shit happen. Like he ain't just make himself look like a complete jackass on national and global TV. So obviously, and I stated this in the last video, he doesn't give a fuck. He is not remorseful. of the actions he did. He is not apologetic or sorry about it at all. He did apologize to the Oscars industry, like the Oscars, as a whole. He apologized to them for his behavior on their platform, but he did not apologize to Chris Rock. His only apology was to the Academy Awards and the Oscars for him doing what he did on their platform, but never apologizing to the person who he embarrassed on national and global TV. So that shows you he doesn't give a fuck, because he didn't apologize for it to the person that he committed the assault to. And then he's in Miami, proud of himself that not only was he able to get away with slapping somebody, but he's also not in jail. And he's also proud of himself because he still won the award. They should have stripped him of that shit. I'm not sure why they did, but they should have stripped him of that award. They should revoke him out of the history books for for the award that he won that night. He should be like omitted out of it, and they should take that award back, or at least request to ask to take it back. But doesn't look like the Oscars are going to do anything. So let's get back to the video, and let me go ahead and share back to this one right here, and we'll continue with what Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless think about the slap.
And then you apologize to the Academy. After the Academy, you need to apologize to that man. Skip, let me tell you. There's three things, especially in our community.
Yep.
You say the N-word, you spit on me, and you slap me. Because if you...
That's right, guys. Say the N-word, spit, or slap. Those three things in the African-American culture, disrespect. Will Smith did one of them, one of the three. And on top of that, he didn't even apologize to Chris Rock. And I just said that 2 minutes ago. He apologized to the Oscars. And Shannon Sharpe even said, screw that. You don't need to be apologizing to the Oscars. You need to apologize to him. You assaulted him.
You go back when we were less than, that's what they did. They didn't punch you, they slapped you.
Got it.
Because that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. When you hear somebody, they don't say, I'm going to punch you. They say, I'm going to slap the you know what out of you. Because that's the ultimate sign of disrespect.
That's right.
Will Smith and his crowning achievement, he finally won an Oscar. And he's had some performances that he could have easily won one.
Yep.
Now, Will Smith won the Oscar in 2022. But what... This overshadows it.
Sure
He's
does.
never going to be able to live this moment down. What should have been his greatest moment, his joy, is marred by this.
Because most people anticipated he was going to win Best Actor.
Right. Okay. And so now you take the moment away from Venus and Serena about their dad, the story about their family and their dad. You stole that moment from them. Why? Because he made a joke. This is the first time I get it. Chris Rock said something back in 2016 when Will Smith said he was going to boycott, and Jada said she wasn't coming also, and Chris Rock said, well, they didn't invite you anyway, so we ain't going to miss you. But Skip, this for him to do that, considering some of the things that she had said at her round table about an entanglement, he ain't slapped that guy. That's the guy you should be mad about. I'd had to have. I'm so
Yep, I agree with Shannon Sharpe 1,000,000% again. If you gonna slap somebody or punch somebody, you need to be doing it to the guy who was fucking the cheeks of your wife, whether you were aware or unaware of that she was having a situationship or entanglement. They was fucking in your house, the house that's worth millions, that you had to make a rap career and a TV show and movies and producing, etc. You invested your time, your money, your years, and your sacrifice, and you allow your wife to come in and just fuck another man in your house, but you ain't slapped the shit out of him, but you slapped the shit out of Chris Rock? That don't make no sense. Let's get back to the video.
disappointed because it's us. For the world to see, I don't know how many people was watching. Say 5, 10, 15, 20 million people was watching.
Not what it used to be, but go ahead.
But it's us. You see, it's us. And all y'all out there talking, oh, that's her man, his man protected his woman. Really? That's what y'all think this is about. Somebody, it's embarrassing. Will Smith, I hope he went to bed. I hope he prayed. This was embarrassing to the highest degree.
Okay, I'll take it from a different perspective on this side of the table. I have watched these awards for many, many years. You know how into film and movies I am. So I hang on their every word. it's lost me a little bit over the last 4 or 5 years. And because the Lakers were on last night, I had to tape it. Usually I would watch it live,
Right.
but I'm not going to
Mr.
preempt
Laker.
LeBron for this. So the point is, for those who don't know the ceremony, to your point about the high and mighty there, the goal of the stand-up comics who are either to open the show is to puncture said
Right.
egos.
Right. He was a
Mhm.
presenter, so
Yes,
he wasn't
was
even
just
the
a
host.
presenter. He wasn't the host, but the goal of some presenters and definitely the hosts is to puncture egos of high and mighty,
Right. Yep.
because Hollywood wants to send the message to the country, well, we don't take ourselves that serious.
Right.
Okay, so I am the biggest Chris Rock fan.
Mhm.
He is funny,
He is. Yeah, absolutely.
but he can be scathing funny.
Right.
This was a cheap shot at Will's wife because she does suffer from a hair loss condition that she's often talked about on her show and other
Right.
mediums.
Give me 1 second here, guys. My charger is starting to die out, so give me 1 second. Again, this charger, I don't know what's going on with it lately, but I mean, the battery, I should say, is dying. So give me 30 seconds, 60 seconds. I'm not going to turn the live stream off. I want to do what I did last time, leave the live stream on, and then just mute the mic for a sec. So I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Hold on. All right, thank you guys so much for patiently waiting for me here. All right, let's get back to the video. Let's rewind it a little bit so I could recap what he
And
was saying.
it was funny,
He is. Yeah, absolutely.
but he can be scathing funny.
Right.
This was a
So that's what I was gonna say. So prior to me getting the charger for the laptop, what I was gonna say is that he's about to say that Chris Rock is to some degree scathingly funny. Listen, every comedian has jokes about different things. You can't make a comedy show that isn't going to offend anybody that's watching. That's just how it is. If you make jokes about fat people, the skinny people might laugh. If you make jokes about skinny people, the fat people might laugh. You make jokes about tall people, the short people are gonna laugh. You make jokes about the short people, the tall people laugh. Somebody's gonna be laughing at somebody, and everybody's gonna be joking about something, and everybody can be offended about anything. So we can't make comedy, which is kind of what they're doing now in this new era of all this bullshit with all these isms and all these groups and all these things that are trying to prevent comedy from moving forward. But we can't allow ourselves to become so super emotional about comedy that it becomes a thing where now everything has to be rated E for everyone, and if it's not rated E for everyone, then it's just not comedy, and we can't do that. Comedy, first of all, is usually rated R. It's usually not rated E for everyone. Bare minimum PG-13 or TV 14, okay, or TV MA 17. That's usually the bare minimum, is either the age of 13, 14, 17. And even then, sometimes teens are not, able to be smart enough to decipher the difference between a joke and reality, even though a lot of jokes have truth and facts in it. But you've got to be able to enjoy a comedy show and roll with the punches. It's like if you make fun of uh you know um Chinese people, some people could get offended, some people won't. You make fun of African American people, some people might get offended, some people might not. You make fun of white people, Latinos, etc. Some might get offended, some might not. The thing is, it's almost like we're trying to diminish comedy to such a point that everything is scathing to everybody, and you can't have any jokes. This doesn't make any fucking sense. We can't continue to devour, the evolution of comedy. I mean, it's becoming, ironically and oxymoronically, it's becoming a joke to be a joker. Like, you can't even joke anymore. It's literally becoming a joke to be a joker, meaning, you know, it's you can't even be comedic anymore because it's gonna offend everybody in every single heart and every single emotion, every single feeling. Like, hey, there's plenty of comedy I've watched, and I don't agree with everything that the person says. Am I going up there trying to slap people on stages? Am I trying to boycott people? Am I, out here trying to, say that I hate this person and I hope they burn in hell or whatever? No. If you don't like it, bro, change the channel. And if you don't like it and you're there live and in person, you can leave. In fact, a lot of these award ceremonies, they actually pay some of these stars to show up. And not only that, they entice them with these gift bags. And if you don't know, some of these gift bags at these award ceremonies, um, I've heard, and I don't have evidence of it, but I've heard from previous interviews with celebrities that sometimes they may have gifts that are worth $2,000. They may have a watch in there that's worth like, $3,000. Like, these people get extravagant gifts for showing up. It's not like they're just showing up just because they're nominated or because they're presenting. They also get really good gifts in a lot of these bougie award ceremonies. And the Oscars, aka also known as the Academy Awards, they the bougiest of the bougie. So you're going there for entertainment. You're not paying to get in. You're getting a gift at the end of the night that's probably worth a couple thousand, and then you're getting free humor, free comedy. Shoot, the average Joe cannot get all that. If the average Joe was going in, you'd be paying general admission first of all, or VIP prices, and then you'd be paying for food and drinks, and you're not getting any gifts at the end of the night. So you should feel honored to be there, and even more so, you should feel honored that a comedian chose to make a joke about you, because think about it. If the joke sucked, nobody in the audience would have laughed. So the fact that you were part of a joke that everyone found funny, and you know you're the only one that took offense to it, speaks volumes. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. But let's get back to the video and see what else Skip has to say.
Cheap shot at Will's wife
I don't think
because
it's a
she
cheap
does
shot.
suffer from a hair loss condition that she's
Everybody
often talked
loses
about on
hair.
her show and other
Well, not
meetings.
everybody, but most people.
And it was a low blow. It's just a cheap shot.
I don't agree.
And I didn't love it because you could see Jada didn't love it immediately.
That's her
and Will
problem.
was still smiling, so it shocked me what he then did.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to
That's Jada's problem. If you don't like it, bro, the exit door is right there.
take it one step deeper. I think he knew pretty well that he was going to win this award, playing King Richard, obviously the father of the Williams
Venus and
sisters.
Serena.
And it almost felt like he lost it a little bit.
By the way, not to mention, this will foreshadow anything related to the award. So winning the award is almost like it's gonna always be ruined, foreshadowed, and tainted by the slap. Also, the movie, the fact that the movie was based on the history of Venus and Serena Williams, no one's gonna remember that or care about that. They're always gonna be remembering just the slap. So you literally ruined the history of two strong African American women, and also the actresses that played the roles of those two women, and your role in that movie as well. All of that has been tainted by this stupid action, this stupid slap. No one's ever gonna remember why you won the award, what the movie was about, who the actresses were, and what was the theme of the movie and the plot and the story behind it. No one's gonna ever know. No one's gonna care. The only shit they're gonna care about is the level of stupidity of you slapping Chris Rock for unnecessary reasons.
Because he almost went to the Oscars in character, and he talked about it in his acceptance speech.
So he was
because he said art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams, but love will make you do crazy things. Well, Richard would have done the same thing in certain situations.
Oh, he ain't let nobody talk about the girls.
I don't think Richard would have slapped. No. He would have slugged. Because that's what got me. But I didn't think about the history of this. you make a very deep and powerful point that eluded me, because the neighborhood I grew up in, it was a lower class, sort of middle to lower class. It had a real lower class with a white trashy side on it. Listen, nobody slapped. Nobody slapped.
No.
When you engaged with your fist closed.
Right.
And you didn't talk about it, you just threw.
Right.
And I was taught very little, but I was taught by my father, you finish it before it starts. Okay, right? Okay.
That's the first thing you skip. Here's the thing, what Chris Rock should have thought about. I say the joke. The person that I say the joke about, her husband, so now I already feel tension. I feel confrontation. Or I'm getting off the first one. Because the moment I feel confrontation, I got to end it. I'm not finna let you walk up on me like that.
Yep.
Okay.
We argue, Skip. If we going back and forth, you cross the room and here you come walking towards me. What I think? You coming to offer me a drink?
I don't know what he thought. He did stand strong. I mean,
I'll say this: I was surprised that he didn't back up, or he didn't try to block, or he didn't even have his hands ready, because he just stood there. And I feel like he almost knew, not in the sense knew like it was staged, but he almost knew that Will was gonna smack him or potentially attack him, because he was ready in full stance mode, kind of like when you're like in the military and you're front line and you're trying to defend the people behind you. Like he just had like a military stance, and it's weird because he took the hit and he kept it going. But it was pretty embarrassing though, because it was hard for him to kind of you know get the cobwebs shaked out and get back into the zone of trying to move on to the next segment. And then of course Will Smith instigating and antagonizing it after the slap even happened did not help. So very awkward, but here we go.
he didn't flinch. He took the shot right in the mouth.
You're a bigger man than me. I ain't that big a man.
Okay, I got it. Just for the record, Will Smith.
I agree. I'm very respectable, and I usually try to take the high road. But shit, if you smacking me on national and global TV, and my kids are watching, I don't have kids, but if I had kids, or if my family's watching, bro, they're not gonna see me get punked out. They're gonna see me whooping your ass.
Goes about 6'2", I'm going to guess 200-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. And Chris, I'm going to give him 5'10", maybe 150-ish.
They're saying the measurements of like height and weight as far as like um, Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will Smith is 6 and change in height. I don't think he's 200 even. I think he was like 220 or 240 or something, or 235, somewhere around there. Because usually he does movies like Ali and Bad Boys, 2 and 3, and all those other action movies. So usually he's in a more muscular shape. And when he did I Am Legend, same thing. So I don't think he's 200 even. He's definitely over 200. And then Chris Rock is about 5'10". I don't know how much he weighs, but I would assume since he's usually leaner, he's probably at about 175, 180. I don't think he's 150. 150 is way too skinny, especially the fact that he's 5'10". I know Chris Rock's lean, but he's not that, he's not that light. But I think they're trying to compare the weight just to determine that Chris Rock was able to take the impact, even though Will Smith is he's usually in tip top shape for movies, usually in a stronger physical, the way he carries himself in the movies. And so I think he has about if I had to guess, he has about an 80-pound advantage over Chris Rock. And Chris Rock was able to take the hit like it was nothing.
He's always been slender, right?
Yes.
So can we agree that Will Smith's about 50 pounds and maybe
easy.
4 inches on him? Okay, does that change the dynamic at all?
No. Sometimes, Skip, sometimes you might have to be willing to take an ass cutting just to let people know that you're not no pushover, that you can't walk on. Because once you
That's right. I agree with him. He says sometimes you got to do some ass cutting, meaning sometimes you have got to take a loss in money, and you have got to show your guts, and you got to show that you've got balls, and you got to kick someone's ass when they ask for it. And Will Smith asked for an ass kicking in this situation. So if I was Chris Rock, I would have done it, even if I never get invited back to an award ceremony again, even if they don't want to pay me ever again. Whatever the case is, sometimes you got to show your manhood, and sometimes you got to defend yourself, and you can't just let something like that slide. There was a moment where it looked like when he got hit, right after the hit, it looked like his right hand was about to swing, but you have to look at the clip very closely if you guys haven't watched it. But it looked like his right hand was almost about to pop forward, but he really held his hands down and kept them in, like kind of grounded. So I was surprised he didn't actually swing through normal reflex.
You let somebody do that to you,
Hmm.
and people now he's got to be careful about joking somebody in the community. Skip, I went to
Hmm.
I went to a comedy show one time with Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence said something about me. Man, I laughed. It was funny,
Hmm.
but I get it.
Yep,
He's a comedian,
that's
and
right.
if he sees somebody in the audience with the way they dress and how they look, guys, people used to make fun of people with disabilities. They don't do
Hmm.
that anymore, Skip. But that was a thing. If you had one leg, you had one eye, or whatever the case may
Yep.
be. But for Will to react like this, really,
Hmm.
Skip, nobody can convince me that there's something deeper going on other than somebody saying that your wife has no hair and she's going to be in the next GI Jane.
Yep.
There's no way you can convince me that pushed him over the edge.
Okay.
That was the only thing. Something else is going on deeper because he should have been pushed over the edge last year when she was at the round table talking about an entanglement. Go fight that dude. That's the dude I'm looking for.
Yep.
That was all up in my house doing what I should have been doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, perfect point. That's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier in this video, and that's what I said in the previous video I did. The one that I did, showing the if you didn't catch it, it's available on all my platforms. But I did a video earlier, I think it was earlier today actually, where I showed the clip of the slap, then Will antagonizing Chris even after the slap, and then the bullshit speech that he gave, and then all this shit about he's a protector and he believes in love and yada yada. I'm like, you don't believe in love because you just slapped the shit out of your friend on global and national TV, and you also embarrassed him in front of his kids who are probably watching from home, and you had no remorse because at the end you only apologized to the Oscars. You never apologized to him specifically or directly or even indirectly. So he don't give two f's. And if you guys are just tuning in, let me go ahead and show you how Will Smith is looking like, after the Oscars. Look, this is how he was looking like. Look, he was at a club. They was playing his old throwback song Miami. He's in a Miami club and they're playing his hit song Miami that he released back in the 90s, and he's there dancing with the Oscar that he won, and he's acting like if life is good and ain't shit happen, trying to brush off, the situation that happened with the slap. So yeah, bro, guy got no shame. But let me get back to the video. Let's see what else they got to say.
I did like it that in the commercial break, it was reported that both Denzel and Tyler Perry tried to calm him down and talk him off the ledge a little bit, Will Smith. Yeah. And that he said in his acceptance speech that Denzel told him that at your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you.
I'm the devil. If I'm Chris Rock, I'm the devil that's coming for him. I'm coming up out that purple Tom Ford, or Brioni, or Caesar Antolini. I don't know who that was, but I'm coming up out of there.
Another big important point that I forgot to comment on in this video was when they mentioned that they said that Will Smith seemed like he was in character. Now, what they mean by that is, he played the character of Richard Williams. Richard Williams is the father of Serena Williams and Venus Williams. The award that he won for was designated for that specific movie where he's playing Richard Williams, the father of the two tennis players, Serena Williams and Venus Williams. And so, in him winning that, his speech they said almost sounded like he was still in character because they said that Richard Williams was the type of father that would never take any BS from anyone, and that if he would have heard something like that, in his heyday, he would have definitely slapped the shit out of Chris Rock as well. So they're saying they think he was in character, like similar to how Heath Ledger, when he got in character, most people didn't know the reason why Heath Ledger was such a really good actor in the Dark Knight movie where he played the Joker was not only because, of course, he had good acting skills, but he was taking a lot of prescription drugs, and those drugs uh, cause him to hallucinate and think weird shit and stuff like that. And he, nobody knew it. He was doing it low key, and that caused him to be able to play that Joker role where he's like this insanely crazy dude who finds everything funny and just, the way the Joker is in the cartoon, he pretty much played him like spot on. And I always thought, like, man, why was his role so good in that movie? That's the reason why, because he used to take drugs that would make him hallucinate, think crazy, laugh out loud, etc. And so it fit the role perfectly. So they're saying that they feel like Will was kind of mentally still in the state of that character. Is it true? Is it false? I don't know. But what I would say is that if he is in that character, what that tells me is that he's almost becoming a bit delusional, and he's not able to differentiate or decipher the difference between reality and what's not reality. That could also be a bad sign to letting you know that he has a lot of emotional issues and mental issues that he isn't discussing. And that could also lead to potential suicide or him committing, possible murder against his wife, his kids, or someone that he loves. Now, I know that that sounds really extreme, taking it that far, just from a slap. But the thing is that we've seen many people do it. I mean, Heath Ledger overdosed, and he was a great actor and played the Dark Knight. And then, we had Robin Williams, one of the greatest comedic actors of all time. And he, what happened with his situation. If you don't, you can Google it. Same thing. They said he committed suicide and did a bunch of other stuff that seemed out of character. So, a lot of times comedians, actors, singers, rappers, etc., don't have the necessary outlets to be able to go ahead and be out of the public eye, and heal in the proper way. And I think that the slap is kind of the epitome of what Will is going through. I think the slap is is the red flag and the biggest indicator letting you know that that could be that could be a early sign letting you know of what's to come in the future. Maybe nothing comes of it in the future, but usually situations like that, when they have that much anger, emotion, resentment, hatred, behind an action like that, and then you have no remorse at the end, and you have no apology from that person, like that tells you there's something really wrong there, and there's something deeper there. Especially these guys are like brothers, and they've been close friends for years. So there's something, I agree with Shannon Sharpe. There's something deeper that's rooting in there. And the slap is basically the epitome of what he's been bottling up all this time, because he probably looks at himself like, oh, I'm Big Willie, Big Willie from Philly and stuff, I'm the guy, the cool guy. I'm supposed to be the confident guy, the guy that you see on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air that gets all the ladies. Well, in real life, doesn't seem to get all the ladies, and if he used to, it's definitely not his wife. Someone else is getting the cheeks from him, from his lady. And just like Shannon Sharpe said, if you had all that anger, why you ain't beat up the guy that was smashing your woman? Because one, him smashing your woman on the low low, that's already enough disrespect to kick his ass. Number two, the fact that he was doing it inside of your home. Like, it's one thing if your wife wants to divorce you, she wants to move on, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You let her go, you do your thing, she does her thing. But for her to do that during the relationship and then bring the individual into the house, and then on top of that, to create an emotional bond with the person, like, she fucked up on all levels. She did her hoeing, then she did it in the house, which is disrespect number two. The fact you're already doing what you're doing is disrespect number one. Then you're doing it in the house, that's disrespect number two. And then disrespect number three is the fact that you know you just out here just like saying it publicly. You just like telling the world to make him look like shit. So there's a deeper root between him and her, because why would you be so confident to want to say that shit out loud? You feel me? That's why I wouldn't have protected her. If she would have been at the war ceremony with me, I would have been laughing my ass off all day. And in fact, if you look back at the clip, he was laughing his ass off. And she kind of smirked and laughed a little bit about it, but then she put serious eyes. And then she tried to look at him to act like, oh, what you laughing at type of shit. And I think that's why he reacted. He didn't want that at the end of the show that she end up basically, giving him, the business at home. So to prevent from him having to get the short end of the stick from his wife when he gets home, and her, probably scream at him, yell at him, and curse him out, etc. at home, He was like, let me defend her to remove the anger and the blow from directing it to him, directed to Chris Rock, and make Chris Rock the villain. So that's what that shit's all about. So that marriage is a fucking disaster. There's no reason for you to want to protect a chick who fucked another dude last year and did it in your house. Shit, if she would have did that in my house, fuck that. I would have probably burned the house down, and from there, I'd have been like, take your ass out of here. I would have took be like divorce, divorce, divorce. I'm not gonna be with someone like that, and I'm definitely not gonna protect them in no freaking award ceremony. I would have been like, yo, you out of here, move out, you're gone, you're done. And if you're gonna stick around with me, you're gonna have to take all the heat. And I'm sorry, and the fact that she's losing her hair, maybe who knows, maybe she has cancer and nobody knows it. And maybe that's why they took the jokes so serious. But at the same time, if that is the situation, you have got to inform people of that situation. And then maybe Chris Rock might have not said a joke about your wife. But at the end of the day, Jada Pinkett is not a catch. Jada Pinkett is not worth protecting. So you potentially sacrificed going to jail, charges being pressed, and now being a global asshole because of what you did to protect someone who isn't worth protecting. Bro, she's the neighborhood. She's the neighborhood thought. She's always been that even before she met you. She's gonna be like that till the end of time. And there's no surprise about last year's event. So that might have surprised him, but that sure didn't surprise me. But let's get back to the last 2 minutes of this one.
I'm coming up out of these clothes, but I don't care nothing about that. Man, you can't do that to somebody, Skip. So now the
Let me
comedian,
rewind that so you can hear it
Highest
again.
moment, be careful.
Shannon Sharpe
That's
been
when
on
the
point
devil
this whole one.
comes for you.
I'm the devil. If I'm Chris Rock, I'm the devil that's coming for him.
Mhm.
I'm coming up out that purple Tom Ford, or Brioni, or Caesar Angelina. I don't know who that was, but I'm coming up out of there.
Yep.
I'm coming up out of these clothes, but I don't care nothing about that. Man, you can't do that to somebody, Skip.
Mhm.
So now comedians, can they not say anything? I'm worried about people coming up on stage.
Mhm.
So don't go.
Facts.
Listen, if you're sensitive, don't you take your ass to no comedy show.
Yep.
Because these are comedians and they
Mhm.
make light of situations. So if you go down there and you got on some bull jive, they're gonna make fun of you. If you look like some bull jive, they're gonna make fun of you.
Okay,
If your
is it
partner,
possible that Will actually
don't you take your ass to
Let's
no
hear that
comedy show.
again.
Because these are comedians and
Mhm.
they make light of situations. So if you go down there and you got on some bull jive, they're gonna make fun of you. If you look like some bull jive, they're gonna make fun of
That's his favorite word, bull jive. It always makes me laugh because he means bullshit. And what he's trying to tell you is if you ain't ready to be at a comedy show and you ain't ready to be roasted and you ain't ready to be part of the jokes, eh, take your ass home. You ain't got to deal with the bullshit, but you damn sure can't be, all right, just slapping whoever the hell you want to slap. And if it was me, again, like I said, I would have slapped the shit out of him right back.
you.
okay,
If your
is it
partner,
possible that Will actually started to think he was Richard Williams?
okay.
You know, like I got to put an end to this right here, right now, because that's what Richard would have done,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Again, Richard Williams, the father of Serena and Venus Williams, who is the person that Will Smith played the role of in the new movie that was released. So they're saying, what if he was mentally ill to the point where he was still in that role, kind of like the way Heath Ledger, became the role of the Joker, and that's why he played it so good. And then eventually we found out he overdosed, and that was probably the reason why he was so good at the role. So now they're wondering if Will is falling into that same thing, and who knows if he is. Not that I'm wishing anything upon him, but typically that role ends in suicide.
Probably.
Little- little
a
crazy,
lot of
but-
times they get in character, and when you get in character, it's hard to get out of character.
Mhm.
We've seen a lot
Method
of
acting
Yeah,
taken over the edge.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'd have thought I was a hurricane. I'd have gotten character. Boy, man, you can't skip. You can't just walk up.
Shannon Sharpe so stupid, but he's so funny. He's like, I would have went into character myself and been a hurricane, basically meaning I'll blow your ass away. Pause, no pun intended. He would have blew his ass out of there. Oh man.
To somebody and slap them. And kudos to Chris Rock. Chris said, "No, I don't want to take no.
The LAPD went to him
Yeah.
afterwards and said, "You want
Mhm.
to file?" Nope.
No,
Well,
I
how's he
would.
going to
Mhm.
file
I would have
charges?
charged him.
LAPD went to go and ask Chris Rock if Chris Rock wanted to file charges and he declined. So I don't know if that means if Chris Rock is still trying to be the bigger man again for the second time in the situation where he shouldn't have to be the bigger man, or if he's doing that because if he might do some like Tupac Biggie beef and kind of shit like back in the days, and maybe get Will Smith on the low low. You feel me? I don't know. We'll see.
Walk up to somebody and slap them. And kudos to Chris Rock. Chris said, "No, I don't want to take no, you know."
The LAPD went to him
Yeah.
afterwards and said, "You want to
Mhm.
file?" Nope.
No,
Well,
I
how's he
would,
going to file charges?
I want no
against Will
charges.
Smith?
Yep.
I'm gonna get his ass back though.
Yeah. Well, Chris looked shook for
I'm gonna get his ass back though. Watch Shannon Sharpe right on the money.
a while.
Of
And he should
course,
have been.
prompted. And you know,
Unprecedented.
Skip, I'm like, hold on, is this? I said, nah. Hey, I said, nah. You ain't right. You don't write this into a
Well,
script.
I think the whole theater thought it
Yeah.
was rehearsed, you know,
Yeah.
like it was staged.
Yeah.
But then it came clear it was not.
It was not staged. Over a joke about your wife's hair. Skip, that ain't. I can see
I think that was a buildup of
a lot of other things that came. Skip, I can see if it.
You see, even they said it too, and I said it in my previous video before I saw this video of Shannon and Skip talking about it, and they're repeating it. They confirming it, and I agree because I said this even before I saw this video that the truth is that there's a lot of more deeper rooted causes, and this is just like a buildup that finally blew up. And like they say that you always end up taking your anger out on the ones that you love the most. And Will Smith and Chris Rock were really good friends. I don't know if they're going to maintain good friendship, but I know they were really good friends before this. And I know that some people like Denzel Washington and also P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs, tried to, they tried to give some type of advice for Will, keeping it calm, keeping it cool, and just trying to move forward from the situation. And P. Diddy at one point in the award ceremony even tried to say, "Oh yeah, we gonna handle this like the way we handle it, like the way family does, the way our family does." Trying to make a joke of it and saying that they're gonna reconcile. But if I was Chris Rock, I'm not reconciling shit. Like you did that on national TV, that's gonna be on all social media. That's never gonna go away. I'm never, ever, ever, bro, gonna be able to forgive you. And if I do, I'm still not ever gonna be friends with you. So fuck that.
If his wife is suffering from a terminal illness or his wife is practically, I get that. The certain things, we know, Skip, even for a comedian, certain things are off the table. But Skip, that was not a low blow. That really, I mean, that's, I mean, okay, she's not the only person suffering from alopecia.
That's right.
It happens. There are men, there are women.
No,
Yeah, it
definitely.
happens.
Yep, that's pretty much the end of the video. There only has like 5 seconds left. But yeah, alopecia, it happens to a lot of people. Not that I'm saying it's something that anyone is ever gonna be happy or feel comfortable experiencing. I mean, as you get older, potentially you may lose, some of your hair, a little bit of your hair, or maybe all of your hair. So that just happens. We as humans don't know how to fight that struggle because unfortunately it's something that's very hard to recover back from. So I can understand, the frustration that she's having, but still, man, you can't let that joke hit you like that. And like Shannon Sharpe said at the end, if it's something that deals with a situation that's like terminal illness, for example, cancer, because cancer usually you lose your hair, especially if you start taking chemo, you're gonna lose your hair. So if it's a situation about terminal health issues, obviously, Chris Rock is probably not gonna make a joke about that then. However, comedians have made jokes about people and comedians and celebrities who have died. So, again, like I say in comedy, there's nothing ever off the table. Even death has been on the table for comedians in their material for so many years. So a joke about losing your hair, bro, it's not the worst joke in the world. It's not that serious unless if it's related to the fact that you could be dying from cancer. That might be a different story, and maybe that's why they took it so harsh, because they know maybe she has some type of terminal illness and nobody else in the world knows it. That could be the reason for this huge blow up with you know the slap in the face by Will Smith to Chris Rock. That could be the reason. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, if he slapped him in the face, either Will Smith is still going through relationship issues with everything that happened with the situationship with his wife Jada Pinkett last year, or it could possibly be that she's having a terminal illness similar to cancer, and that's impacting her hair growth, and that could be the reason as to why it is that they took it so offensively and so seriously, and that could be the reason why they didn't think the joke was funny. In a situation like that, I could definitely understand and see the perspective more in favor of, Will slapping, especially if, let's say, if Chris Rock were to have known or does know that, you know, Jada Pinkett is going through a terminal illness and that's what's causing the loss of hair, that still doesn't mean that Will should go on stage and smack, the shit out of this guy's face. But at the same time, that would have been a little bit more understandable. But the fact still remains that it doesn't seem it's terminal illness related that we know of, and you just have to respect comedy. And if you don't respect comedy, bro, just go home. If you don't like this comedian, just go home. You didn't like the joke he made about her in 2016. You didn't like this joke. Why didn't you just take your ass home? The reason why he didn't take his ass home is because he knew he was going to win an award that night. He felt in his blood he was going to win an award. And that's the main reason why he didn't leave. I think if he knew he was going to lose, he probably would have just left a lot earlier, or he probably would have left as soon as he heard, Chris Rock talking about her hair. But I think that's another real reason why he stayed. And that kind of caused the blood to boil a lot quicker. And that's what caused him to get upset, is that he knew he was more than likely going to win. And he ended up staying there to make sure that if he wins, he's there to be able to accept the award. But I think if he knew he was going to lose the award, he probably would have went home after the joke and then just dealt with that shit at home. But he knew he was going to win, so he had to stay. And since he had to stay, that was the result of him staying. So that's just what it is. But to be quite honest, a very shocking situation. Like, I've watched it multiple times, probably more than 10 to 12 times, and each time I watch it, it's just like cringe. It makes you cringe. Like, it's like, damn, bro. Like, what will you do in a situation that you a host, you being a funny, you being a comedian, somebody just slaps the fuck out of you out of nowhere? If you are approaching me like that, I'm gonna be ready, assuming that that's something you're probably gonna do. But the fact that it happened, and then the thing is, he walked away. Will Smith walked away like he had just disciplined one of his, let's say, one of his children who wasn't, who was misbehaving. And he made his facial expression. You can see that he felt so like relieved, and he felt so good to, to have slapped him. And he just, you can see it in his face when he's walking off the stage that he felt like he conquered something. He felt like he accomplished something. And Chris Rock just stayed puzzled. He almost looked sad as fuck. And then when Will started saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth," and he said it twice, um, like, you could see Chris Rock, he was at first smiling, and then his smile started to go into kind of like a sad face. And then he like very, very sadly says, "Okay, man." He basically tells him, "Okay, man, I will do that. I will do that." Like, trying to like tell him to like chill out. We'll make sure to keep her out of the jokes moving forward, and we'll just, continue the show. So to me, Chris Rock handled it way more than he needed to, in a very professional manner. If he would have swung back, I wouldn't have hated him or been mad at him, because him defending himself would have been, um, that would have been his prerogative, and that would have been his choice, and that would have been his right to do, as a man, for someone who's coming up to him to assault him during a show that he is here, just saying comedy for. So tell me, what do you guys think? Um, do you agree with what Shannon Sharpe says? Do you agree with what Skip Bayless says? Do you agree with what I said? I basically agree with almost everything that Shannon Sharpe said, because it's pretty much what I said in my previous video as well, before I even did this video. So let me know what you guys think. You know, if you guys think that Skip Bayless is correct and it was a little bit under the belt, then let me know and drop your comment, or send me a private message and let me know what you think. If you think Shannon Sharpe was on point, which I agree with Shannon Sharpe 100% of the way, if you agree with what me and Shannon Sharpe thought about this situation, let me know as well. You can drop a comment, send a direct message, or both. But I believe Shannon Sharpe's on point with this one. I know Skip Bayless was kind of trying to water it down a little bit to make it not seem so bad, because he doesn't want Will Smith in this light. Obviously, we don't want Will Smith to be in this light. And even when Shannon Sharp said it's even more embarrassing that it was a black person doing it to another black person. Not that it should be any less if you would have done it to any race that's not black, but the fact of the matter is that um, with the struggles that black people have gone through in the past, and like Shannon Sharp said, a slap in the face usually meant worse than an actual punch in the face. Because like a punch in the face means someone probably wants to fight you, but a slap in the face back in the days, like Shannon Sharp had said during the slavery days, a slap in the face was like more in the sense of like they wanted to disrespect you, because a punch in the face, you already know that that means someone wants to fight you and they're angry, or someone wants to beat you up. But a slap in the face is more like they're not necessarily wanting to fight you. They just wanted to make a proven point that if they want to, they can own you, and they just can beat the shit out of you whenever they feel like it. And that sometimes, even though it's minimal compared to a punch, it actually stands out more in a more mental and emotional way, how you impact people. And that's how they used to do in slavery. And that's why Shannon Sharp brought that up, because it is a symbol of how black people were mistreated. And with that being said, you doing that to another black guy is bad enough. And then you're black as well, coming from that same history and culture, that makes it like almost 2 or 3 times as worse. And you did it on national and global TV. So that makes it like 4 or 5 times worse. So, with that being said, guys, tell me what you think. If you didn't see the last video, go ahead and make sure you watch that. It's available on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. 4 platforms, 6 channels. And this one, once I'm done recording, actually, I should say done live streaming, because it auto records for me. This one will also be auto saved again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Let me go ahead and pull up here the brand so I can go ahead and close it out. We're giving you guys my social media in case that you don't have that already. So here we go. Just one moment. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. That pretty much right there sums it up for us as far as this conversation with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Again, like I said, I agree with pretty much 100% of what Shannon Sharp stated. I don't really agree too much with what Skip Bayless stated, but everyone has their right to have a difference of opinion. And that's just how it is. Just because we have difference of opinion doesn't mean we can't have a conversation and be eloquent about it. So, with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it for this particular moment. I don't think that at this time I have anything further to speak on this specific topic. I would say that this specific topic at the moment, boom, and there's the slide that I used on the other previous video. But yes, I don't think there's anything further to talk on this particular topic. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in today to the slap that was heard around the world, and taking time to listen to Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless's take on this particular matter. Again, both very interesting topic, very interesting point of views on this topic, and I agree more with Shannon Sharp. And before actually we go, let me actually pull that video back up again. Let me read some comments for you before I actually finally close out this broadcast, because some of the comments were actually pretty funny. Some of them were dead on point. Let me bring this back up again for you guys. Let me actually scroll down. Give me a sec here. That's one thing I forgot that I wanted to do. So let me scroll down. Here's some comments. Somebody said the toxic dating coach stated, damn, this made it to undisputed, meaning that for something to be non-sports related, because undisputed the show is where Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless talk. So the fact that it made it to their show lets you know It was big time news, and it's a slap heard around the world. This person here named Stunning Stuff says Shannon Sharpe is one of the most genuinely entertaining people I have ever seen. And then he puts in quotations, "Here's the thing, Skip," and that's if you watch their show often, you know that that's something that he always says to start in a statement. So it's something that we laugh at sometimes. The next one says, I don't want no charges. I'm gonna get his ass back though." Yep, that's exactly what Shannon Sharp had stated. He says that he believes the reason why Chris Rock did not press charges was because he's gonna get his ass later. And then he says, pause, no pun intended, by the way, on that. And then this person says, Chico the goat says, uh, I don't want no charges. I'm gonna get his ass back. So he repeated the same thing. This next person says, everybody would have forgotten the joke in 15 seconds, but Will Smith just made everyone remember it forever. That is a very true statement because that joke was very light and it was about hair. Nobody would have remembered that joke. It wasn't like it was going to be a classic worldwide Guinness Book of Records joke. So had Will Smith not done the slap, that joke would have been forgotten very easily, not only on Sunday, but just in the future. However, everyone's gonna remember it now because they're gonna always think like, "Oh, why was it that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock again? Oh, because she had alopecia and yeah, she's losing her hair, so she was pissed off about that. So there you go. And also, guys, we're in 2022, so it's like anytime you make female jokes, all of a sudden the feminists and all the bullshitters come out. Here's another one says Shannon took it personally, like he's the one that got slapped. Big facts, big facts. Next person said, I felt like they would do a segment, but I'm like, nah, no way they would do a segment. Let me see if there's any other ones. Next person said, "Bro, I'm dying of laughter and I haven't even started the video yet. But the fact that these two have an opinion on the Oscars is hilarious." Then the next person put skip and he put quotations. This hurts LeBron's legacy. So the reason why I find that one funny is because Skip Bayless, which in that regard, I'm always in agreement with Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is anti LeBron. He's somewhat of a LeBron hater. Kind of likes to watch him play, but he's definitely like a LeBron hater in some ways. And not even, I wouldn't even say a LeBron hater because I myself, I agree with Skip Bayless on a lot of topics. And the thing is, we don't believe he's as good as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. So doesn't matter how many points he scores and it doesn't matter if he becomes number one on the all-time leading score list. He took way more seasons to do it. He took way more big threes to do it. Matter of fact, he's the only man in history to have this many big threes and to have won this many. Even though he's only won 4 championships, to have won all his championships because of the fact that he has a big three in each, in each of those championships. So that's why a lot of us don't respect him in that regard, and we don't believe that he is the GOAT or anything like that. We believe Michael Jordan is number one, Kobe number two, and then the rest is negotiable, controversial, or you can debate on it from there. But the first two are undebatable and unquestionable. So, with that being said, guys, didn't want to go off on a tangent to sports, but that was just a brief, comment of just why that specific comment is funny because anytime that something goes wrong with LeBron, he Skip Bayless always says, say the thing is this is gonna hurt his legacy. So they use the sports catchphrase and analogy to depict what occurred between Will Smith and Chris Rock. So there you guys have it. Well, guys, as you already know, this is the Ola TV's official YouTube channel. I am Ola. This was another Ola TV presentation for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow all the channels. And let me know, did you guys enjoy this one? Um, did you want to talk about more topics like this, as far as celebrity drama, scandals, etc.? If you do, definitely can do more content like this. Uh, but of course, I will never shy away from sports content, even though I haven't done sports. I think in like a week or week and a half. I am going to try to find some games, hopefully coming up soon, to be able to broadcast. And Major League Baseball, the official season, no longer the spring training nonsense. The official season starts April the 1st. wait, April the 1st? No, excuse me, March 31st. So that starts in 3 days. So hopefully, if I'm not too busy working my day job, um, I'll be able to go ahead and broadcast maybe one of those games and maybe two of those games. We'll see how it goes. If not, I'll see if I could do something on the weekend related to Major League Baseball. And as you guys know, NFL and college football is done, so we don't have that at the moment. We'll have to wait for end of summer for that. And then NBA, I'm not a fan of, or NCAA basketball either. So that's why I don't cover those. And we will continue to do cryptos on this channel. And guys, the cryptos have been going out to the moon and beyond to the stars. So if you were listening to everything that I've told you about either Shiba Inu or just certain coins in general, you guys know this was your time and opportunity to have done profit. And if you did not, you may still be able to get in the game. You just, of course, won't have the best price values, but you'll still have a really good set of price values because they're still, even though they're skyrocketing and they're going up a lot, they're still at a really good price point if you guys decide that you wanted to get in. And of course, I never give you financial advice, only educational information, and you risk whatever you want to risk that's feasible and optimal for your own portfolio. But guys, make sure to tune in for the crypto because there should be a crypto video coming on tonight. Now that we've knocked out two videos discussing this slap between Will Smith and Chris Rock, we're going to get back to normal programming. And our normal programming is dealing with crypto and sports. So, crypto tonight, and then sports might be later on during the week. But crypto is blowing up. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not paying attention, you're not listening, you are about to miss the boat. The boat is going away into the sea and it is leaving you at the dock. So, you better wake up and you better tune in and you better pay attention and you better listen. And then from there, you can make an educated decision on your own to whatever fits your needs. But I'm telling you right now, the crypto information that I have been given has been on point, has not been watered down, and has been coming to fruition not only last week, not only the week before, but specifically this week. We've seen Shiba go up. We've seen Dogecoin go up. Dogecoin has gone up 2.5 cents. We've seen Shiba go up about like 200, 300 units. We've seen what else? We've seen BTC and Ethereum start to go skyrocketing again. Solana, Polkadot, etc. So again, you guys tune in. I'll be doing a video more than likely later on tonight, again about crypto, fear and greed index, and Shiba Inu. I know you guys love that content, so that's why I keep it going. And by the way, guys, don't forget to share the video as well. Share it with other people so that we can grow the platform. Like I said, if you guys help me to monetize this platform, now that I am officially approved for YouTube, the program, the partnership, I should say, I'm able to monetize. So if you guys help me monetize, uh, like I said, I'll buy some Shiba Inus and I'll burn them so that we can help the cause of making Shiba Inu one of the best coins ever, as it already is, but make it even better and help people to become millionaires because that's my goal, to become a millionaire and help others to do the same. So, guys, sorry I went off on a tangent, but I want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for tuning in yet again. And I want to thank those that stayed for the full one again. My main follower on the best guy in the biz, and that person is on Twitch every single time. And also my other Twitch, Ola TV Official. I have someone that's always on there following me. So the two people that are on Twitch, I appreciate you guys the most. You guys are the most loyal followers, fans, and listeners. And you guys always tune into the videos and you guys always watch from beginning to end. So I want to thank you so much for always doing that. Even if you've never dropped a comment or sent me a private message, always like to thank you guys at the end of these videos. So, guys, don't forget crypto later on tonight. Big news, big conversations. Going to be sharing a lot of new info again and more news. So stay tuned. Thank you for your time. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Don't miss the crypto video that will be later on tonight. And if you do miss it, the recap will be available. But I'd prefer if you just watch it live. That way, you guys can be able to enjoy it with me and maybe drop some comments as well so that you can be a part of the engagement of the video. So, this one is done. We are moving on along with the rest of our day. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Appreciate the support. Peace.